Trading Truths, and today we are going to look at AUD USD, and as usual I'm going to start with the 4 hours chart. I like to see the 4 hours chart because that gives me a good overview of what is happening in the market, in which direction it is moving. If you're new to the channel, let me tell you that Trading Truths is all about what actually is happening in trading, and it's about transparency and showing what is actually going on, what's ugliness, mistakes, everything. So what I'll basically do is I'll look at the charts of one of the currency pairs. Today is going to be AUD USD. I'm going to mark out the chart, and I'm going to finally put the bars pattern about where I think the price is going to move, and then a couple of hours later we'll just come back and see whether I was right or wrong. If I was right, then we'll just analyze what it was that went right. If I was wrong, then again the same thing. And this is good learning for everyone, and it's completely transparent. No back testing and all those kinds of things where it's all theory and nothing happens in reality. So let's start off. As I can see, it's essentially a market that's ranging in the 4 hours. Let me have a just quick look at a daily. Daily is looking like daily is a downward trend. It is a downward trend, except here it got a higher low here, but after that again lower high, a lower low, then a higher high over here. So yes, it's in a somewhat downward trend from here. If you look at the market from here, it's on a somewhat downward trend, but it is ranging. It's going sideways. In the 4 hours also it is clearly going sideways. Let's see if there are any divergences in the RSI and the chart, and well, I can see one in the 4 hour very clearly right away. The RSI shows upward, the chart shows downward. This is an indication of change in trend. Currently the trend is downward, so it might mean that the price is going to move upwards. The price chart, we'll see some upward movement now. This is what divergence tells us. Okay, so let us see if there are any levels that I want to mark in 4 hours. Yes, there are a lot of levels here that are very relevant for us. Let us start off with the most obvious levels, which is this one. I'm going to make it blue because purple. That's what I mark out for my 4 hours. I go for purple. This is one level that needs to be marked out. Then another level is here. This is a very relevant level for where we are right now. Then one more level I'd like to mark out is right here. Yeah, this. As you can see, in all these levels, the price has consolidated at this level. Here, it has taken support here. Right now it's working as resistance. Here it has taken support, resistance, support, resistance. This of course is more of a resistance, except for this when it broke out here. Okay, so that is the 4 hour. What about trend lines? Let me just move this divergence arrow higher up. There is a trend line that I'd definitely like to use here. This is the trend line that I feel is important right now. Let me minimize the RSI. As you can see, this trend line maximum touches come up till here. Let me just remove auto fit and see where I can pull this trend line till. Yeah, let's put it over here. So this is the trend line that it has bounced off right now. It has not retested it completely, but yes, this is a relevant trend line. Let's make it purple. Now any other trend lines that I feel are important, maybe this one is also worth using. This trend line here. Okay, I think that should be it for the 4 hours. Let's go to 1 hour. 1 hour is also showing there was a divergence here in 1 hour, if you can see. I'll just mark it out. Well, here is the divergence. It's moving. So here's the divergence. It's moving downwards here, and it's moving upwards here. So that means it indicates a change, and well, the direction did change over here, as this was going as an upward trend, and now this is turned into a downward trend. Okay, I'm going to just put the RSI away for a while, and we can, I think, also remove this. Alright, let's have a closer look. In the 1 hour, I would say there's a level forming over here that is a little relevant. Let's mark it out, and we'll make this blue. We use blue for 1 hour. Another level that is also showing a little bit of importance is around here. Let's mark it out over here. This is a level that we can consider. Okay, and as far as trend lines go, this is a trend line worth considering. Let's make it blue. As you can see, it has used it as support, a little bit of resistance, and it might come down to it now or stop over here. But anyways, that is the 1 hour. Any other levels that we can mark? No, this seems to be all that is relevant for us, because we are not going to look too far ahead, just a couple of hours. So just around this much. Okay, now let's get down closer to the actual action. 30 minutes first. 30 minutes is showing more or less similar to the 1 hour. Are there any levels here that we have missed? Not really. This is the 1 hour level. This is also the 30 minutes. And this one is also showing same thing in terms of trend lines. There is another trend line that I feel we could use, mark at least, mark out this one. So for 30 minutes we can use orange. This has been used as resistance, support, resistance, and now it's just broken this trend line. Okay, so that was 30 minutes. Now let's get down to where all the action is. 15 minutes. Okay, we have some pretty strong movement downward with these bearish candles. The overall trend is clearly downward. Lower high, lower low, lower high, and it might be heading towards a lower low now. It might make sense to mark out some levels over here. This looks like an important 15-minute level. Let's mark this out right around here, and this is going to be green. Then any other levels that we can mark out? I think all the other levels are already marked out in the 1 hour and 4 hours. This is one level that is relevant, and maybe there's a level over here. That's a short-term level, you can say. Let's see. This also we should mark out. I would put this around here. Yeah, so yes. And in terms of trend lines, do we have anything worthwhile that we need to add on? This is one that we can use. Let's make this green. Okay, so this is where we stand in terms of levels and trend lines for 4 hours, 1 hours, 30 minutes and 15 minutes. 15 minutes is where all the action is. We're going to take a closer look at how the candles are behaving right now. There is a pretty strong downward movement after so the immediate trend is an uptrend in 15 minutes, but the overall trend, as you can see, is downward. Let's go quickly have a look at 4 hours. As you can see, in 4 hours it's definitely a downward trend overall, but right now we are in the pullback. This was the impulse downward, and right now we are at the pullback, but it's already showing a pretty big bearish candle, so this might be a very short pullback on its way for a second for another downward impulse. As you can see, all the pullbacks have been reasonable. This has been one, this has been the second, this has been the most relevant pullback. This is longer than the impulse down, so that tells us that this is not exactly the trend is not exactly very strong right now. So we might see the trend changing, or at least turning sideways. If it does go sideways, that means it's going to stay over here. We can take this as the lower level for this. So maybe this is another level that we need to mark out right now, which I'm going to do right away. This is a 4-hour level for our resistance right at the bottom, and this is going to be purple. Yes. Let's look at the 1 hour now quickly. The 1 hour again is showing a downward trend. There was a pretty strong downward movement just a little while back. Could have been because of news. Let's have a look at news. This is going forward. 1 hour ago, dollar steady ahead of jobs data. Yen shines after Japan wage data. Okay, so crude oil holds a high ground as US jobs data lights up. So dollar is a little strong right now, so which means we can see some upward movement, but which really hasn't happened. Instead, the price, so if US dollar is strong, I'm sorry, I was looking at the opposite. It's AUD USD. So obviously if dollar gains in strength, then it's going to go down, which this movement has already happened, which was because of the news, job data news. This is the downward trend now. This was the pushback after that sudden downward trend, and now we may again see it at least achieving these levels. Okay, so let's go to the 15 minutes and let us make some clear assessments as to what we can see now. I'm going to put a fib now, point A to point B. Let me remove auto fit. Yep. So this is where I have placed the Fibonacci retracement tool, and as far as this tool goes, it's showing up to almost up to 60. I would say 50. At 50, that means it's going to move to minus 27 and minus 61, but not very fast. It's going to take its time. Let's take a closer look at the data. All right. Let's take a quick look at 5 minutes. A bearish candle is forming here. That means this trend line, this 4-hour trend line, is probably being used as a support right now. I'm going to hide everything for a while, except for the Fibonacci retracement. The 30 minutes is showing a upward thrust right now. This is a very long wick. It means the price tried to go down to this level but was pushed up by the buyers. Now a bearish candle is forming. Okay, I think I have assessed the situation and made my analysis, and I'm going to put my bars now as to where I see the price moving. So this is what I feel the price movement is going to be like right now. It's going to stay around this trend line, move around it, use this as a support, and then move upwards. Might go higher, but I feel this is what the price will be like. Now I'm going to leave it at this, and we're going to come back after a couple of hours to see how the price actually moved and whether my assessment was correct or not. I'll see you in a while. Hi, I'm back, and this is after a couple of hours, and as you can see, where I had placed my bars, it has already gone beyond it. So though the bars were not absolutely accurate, the direction that I was looking at was more or less correct. I had thought it will cross minus 27 and go towards minus 61, and it is headed there right now. So just to assess, I had placed my first bar over here. Instead of it moving straight up from here, it first went down and tested this, I think this 4-hour trend line. This one, let me just pull out a little bit. This 4-hour trend line is one that is being respected by the price right now quite a bit. It was respected by the price over here, and it went down to it, and then it moved up. So I had said that it had touched 50%. In fact, it went on and touched 61.8%. That means it will go up to minus 61. So it has passed this. So we would have made a reasonable amount of pips over here. Let's see how much it would have been. It's about 21 pips. Not too much, not too bad. But yeah, I mean, I would have probably continued with this trade once I saw that it was moving up in the direction that I was looking for, and that would have taken me to about 36 pips, which is very decent. So well, the trade has moved in the direction that I was expecting. The bars have gone well beyond the minus 27 and the Fibonacci. So that's it for this video. We marked it up and I put the bars pattern, and as you can see that though not exactly the way I had placed it, but it's moved in that direction and gone beyond. So we would have made some sort of a good trade here. So thank you for watching, and do like, share and subscribe to Trading Truths, where we are all about transparency and doing everything right in front of you. Even if you make a mistake or you do something correctly, everything is right there. Okay, thank you.